Welcome to Destination Eat Drink, the travel channel for foodies. We are in New Bedford, Massachusetts at Gouard Square Bakery. There's a Portuguese bakery in New Bedford. If you're not familiar with the channel, Karen and I are Americans living in Portugal. We're in the US visiting family and friends. We just had lunch with our friend Maria Lawton, who hosts on PBS Maria's Portuguese Table. She's been on my podcast several times. So we had a lovely lunch with her, and she was talking about this place, Gouard Square Bakery. These guys, it's a Portuguese bakery, and living in Portugal, it's Portuguese. Like, you go in there, they've got all the Portuguese pastries. They even have ketchup flavored potato chips, which I don't think is a big thing here. It's a huge thing in Portugal. Like, you go into the grocery store and there's almost more ketchup flavored potato chips than there are regular just plain potato chips. But anyway, the reason we came here was for their Pastel de Nata. Back last winter, they had the Fall River, New Bedford Pastel de Nata throwdown, because this area is loaded with Portuguese immigrants and people with Portuguese ancestry. They came here to work in the fishing and the whaling industries as far back as the early 1800s and as recently as the 1970s. So there's a huge Portuguese population in this area, and because of that, wherever there's Portuguese people, there's Portuguese bakeries. So we stopped in here. We're on our way to Cape Cod, but we had to get a Pastel de Nata and try it because these folks won the Pastel de Nata throwdown in New Bedford and Fall River. They have the best Pastel de Nata in the region. So that's what I got, and we're going to give this a try. So, really good, not straight out of the oven, so not getting as much of the crispiness off of the crust, but I can tell on the inside you've got the custard tart, so that's made with eggs and sugar and vanilla, and then it's cooked in the oven till it starts to caramelize on the top. Now, when you go to Portugal, you'll see that they'll get even more, traditionally, they'll get even more caramelization on the top. Here in the US, I guess they don't like it as caramelized, so this is how they make it. But I can tell from this custard is really, really good. So, almost has like a pudding consistency. So these guys are legit. We got some Portuguese sweetbread for Karen's mom because she likes to have that toasted. We got a loaf for her. We got some a Pastel de Nata for us. I'm happy, and we'll make our way now on to Cape Cod and see what we can find there. We're at Fair and Just Kitchen in Brewster, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. So I should probably give you a little bit of geography of Cape Cod. If you think of Cape Cod as like an arm, we were in Hyannis, Brewster is up here, and we're headed to Chatham, which is the elbow. And then if you go all the way to the very top, that's Provincetown. You might look on a map and think, you know, Cape Cod looks pretty small. Actually, it would probably take you, on the best of days, an hour and a half to get from end to end driving. And that's on a good day. When there's traffic, it could take you hours and hours and hours to get from one end to the other. But we're here in the off season. Luckily, it's not nearly as busy as it normally is. So we're able to jump around pretty easily. So we're able to jump from the south end of the Cape to the north end, and then we'll jump over to Chatham after that. I wanted to get something nice and healthy for us, and so decided to come to this place called Fair and Just. And it's really a very cool, charming little place. It's a old Cape Cod house, And it's just this little corner takeout. On the other side is like a food co-op. But fair and just, it's just this little kitchen with a takeout counter, and you go and you get your food. So what we got was a little green salad, that's nice and fresh, veggie burger. I'm going to try and do this without spilling it everywhere. We'll see how I do. And a veggie burger on a bed of quinoa. Wow. All right. That veggie burger is really good. I'm not sure what it's made of. It might be made out of quinoa too. That's like the burgers that Karen makes, made out of quinoa. The biggest sin, in my opinion, on veggie burgers is when they come out all mushy. But it's difficult to get a crispy texture on a burger. Karen discovered that when you make it with quinoa, cook it in the air fryer, you can get it nice and crispy, and it's not mushy. So it seems like that might be what they've done here. So I like it. This will be a good way to get our little road trip going today in Cape Cod. Next stop, Chatham. This is Chatham, Massachusetts, on the elbow of Cape Cod, and we're at the Chatham Lighthouse. This light originally was built over 200 years ago. Wooden structures, which, as you can imagine, on a windy, salty, wet area of the world, didn't last very long, so they replaced them with stone towers. And this part of the Cape is very sandy. There's dunes, there's sandbars, so eventually erosion led to the towers falling into the ocean here, and then they were replaced with this metal tower. I say these metal towers because originally there were two towers here. The second one was moved to Eastham, not too far from here, many years ago. So this is the Chatham Lighthouse, and a lot of lighthouses in the U.S. have been decommissioned or sold off to private interests. People make homes out of them, vacation houses, bed and breakfast, places you can stay overnight. Lots of these lighthouses are now in private hands because over the years they just fell into disrepair after they were decommissioned. This light, however, is different. This one is still in use as a navigation beacon because of these treacherous waters here off of the Cape. And it's still used as a U.S. Coast Guard station. So you've got Coast Guard people who, stay here, live here, stationed here, and go out on rescue calls. So you can't visit here, unfortunately. A lot of lighthouses you can go in and visit and climb the tower and check it out and see what life was like. But this one, no, you can't because it's still working. In 1952, the SS Pendleton wrecked off the coast here, and Coast Guard had to be sent out in 60-foot seas in order to rescue several dozen people aboard the ship, and somehow they did it. It was later made into a movie. That story was made into a movie with, I think, Casey Affleck. I can't remember who else was in it, but Chris Pine, I think, was in it as well. That came out in 2016. The name of the movie escapes me. But anyway, so this is a famous lighthouse here. I like going to lighthouses, visiting them, because they're always in these just absolutely magnificent natural beauty locations, and this is no exception. You're right here on the seashore of Cape Cod, and it's absolutely gorgeous here. But you're also kind of remote. Even though there are vacation houses out here, there's not really much to do. So we're going to go and see if we can maybe go grab a bite or grab something to drink back in the town of Chatham. So we're still in Chatham at the Chatham Bars Inn. This is a fancy 5-star hotel and restaurant here in Chatham on Cape Cod. Place has like Porsches parked out front, $20 cocktails and things like that. Not sure how they let me through the front door, but they did. right across the street from the ocean. So it's just absolutely gorgeous. Karen and I were saying how it reminds us of Watch Hill Inn in Rhode Island, which is a similar concept, has a big hotel and this beautiful wraparound veranda. This place is really, really nice. I gotta say though, for my money, I would prefer being at the Watch Hill Inn. But it's still a nice place, and if you're in this area, this would be a place to definitely come and hang out and spend a lot of money. This is Bread and Roses, a vegan cafe and bookstore in Hyannis, Massachusetts on Cape Cod. This is the kind of place where you'll see posters of Che Guevara on the wall and anti-Nazi stickers for sale and cookbooks, vegan cookbooks by Rockstar Morrissey and Dungeons and Dragons player manuals and things like that. So very crunchy, very cool, very hip. And we wanted to come here on our last day, get something healthy and tasty on our way out of Hyannis. You know, Hyannis is, I think if it's known for one thing overall, it would be the Kennedy family. Their compound is in Hyannisport, and this is where the Kennedys probably still spend their summers, but traditionally spent their summers. There is a JFK museum here in Hyannis, and out in front there's a bronze statue of John F. Kennedy. So the Kennedys are still very revered here, as they should be, and you know, you can drive by the compound. You can't go in, obviously. It's their private residence, but that is here. If you're coming to Hyannis, I would say this: it is extraordinarily expensive in the middle of the summer. We're staying at a hotel that I think is 120, 140 bucks a night, but we're here in the off season. In the summer, Karen looked it up, said the hotel room, just a regular hotel room, not a fancy place by any stretch, 500 bucks a night. So that's the kind of price differential you'll see. The restaurants tend to be, I don't know, I've found the prices to be high, but that could just be my sticker shock from coming back to America after 2 years in Portugal. Everything seems priced very high to me, but here in Hyannis, prices seemed kind of high. The other thing is, if you come off season and you're trying to save some money, you're trying to avoid the crowds, which you will, a lot of places are seasonal only. So you'll only get to, you know, a lot of the places you go to, they might not be open. They might be closed for the fall and the winter. After like Labor Day, a lot of stuff tends to close down here. So you have to keep that in mind. You know, there might not be as much on offer as you're looking for. The other thing nice about Hyannis is the ferry is right down the street, and you can grab the high-speed ferry to Martha's Vineyard or Nantucket if you want to see even more shishi and expensive houses. So there's that. Hyannis is a good place to visit. I enjoy it. Haven't been on Cape Cod. Man, I can't remember how long it's been. It's been several years. So what did we get here at the Bread and Roses? First we got, it's kind of a rainy day today. I'm kind of glad today's our getaway day, that it's rainy. We're not missing out on a nice sunny day when we could go to the beach. Got a cup of tomato soup. That's really good, really rich, tomatoey. Got some dill in there, as it should, really nice. They didn't have the BLT, the vegan BLT that I wanted, so instead we got this breakfast sandwich, which has, I don't know, some kind of vegan egg, vegan cheese, and then some vegan sausage on it. So, I don't know, maybe not as healthy as I was looking for, but looks really good. So it has some tomato and pea tendrils on it to make it kind of healthy. But super tasty. That sausage is yummy. That vegan sausage is yummy. The cheese is good. It's a nice sandwich. That'll keep us fueled as we drive back to Providence today. Gotta say, I've enjoyed our little getaway here in Hyannis, even though we had a couple of rainy days. We enjoyed going down to the lighthouse, enjoyed the beach, enjoyed cocktails, and it's been a really nice getaway. If you like this kind of foodie travel content, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you like this video, like it. And I also have a podcast, over 250 episodes out there now of locations all around the world talking about food and travel everywhere on the planet. That drops every Friday. It's called Destination Eat Drink, and you can find out where that's at destinationeatdrink.com/pod, or just on your favorite podcast platform. It's everywhere, so you can get that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you down the road.